Ever felt drawn to the mysteries of the Emerald Tablet? This ancient text, shrouded in legend, promises profound secrets. But what if most people are reading it all wrong? Today, we're diving deep into a forgotten masterpiece, Stanislas de Guaita's commentary on the Emerald Tablet, a text he subtitled Exegetical Exposition with Keys to Understanding the Astral Light. This isn't just another occult manual. It's a guide to thinking, a map to avoid the pitfalls of esotericism, and it's more relevant now than ever. So why did Guaita even write this? It wasn't to spill some sensational secret or teach a magical practice. He wrote it in the late 19th century, a time, much like our own, when esotericism was becoming popular but also dangerously misunderstood. He saw people reading ancient texts literally, chasing psychic powers without any real foundation. His core message was clear: translation alone would not suffice, commentary is essential. The Emerald Tablet isn't a simple recipe. It demands an intellectual and moral framework to be unlocked. Guaita was writing against a superficial reading, warning us not to jump into magical operations without first transforming ourselves. One of the most misunderstood concepts he tackles is the astral light. Today, we might think of this as some kind of personal psychic energy, a life force, or just a poetic metaphor. Guaita sweeps all that aside. He states emphatically, nothingness does not vibrate. For him, the astral light isn't a psychological phenomenon. It's an ontological reality. It's not something inside you. It's the universal medium in which everything exists. Think of it as the anima mundi, the soul of the world. It's the invisible, preformal substance that lies between pure spirit and dense matter. It's the mercury of the alchemists, the invisible canvas upon which all forms are painted. It's the very fabric of potential waiting to be shaped. This brings us to a crucial warning. Guaita writes that the astral light, when left to himself, becomes fatal and demonic. Now, this isn't about good versus evil in a Sunday school sense. He's talking about ontological disorder. The astral light is neutral. It's a cosmic amplifier. It doesn't have its own will. It magnifies the will and the inner nature of the person working with it. If your intentions are chaotic, selfish, or unpurified, the astral light will amplify that chaos, leading to self-destruction. This is Guaita's great warning against the illusion of power. Thinking you can control this force without first controlling yourself is the ultimate folly. The astral light doesn't give you power. It reveals who you truly are, for better or for worse. So how do we navigate this complex reality? Guaita points to the fundamental law of the Emerald Tablet, as above, so below. The law of analogy. For him, this isn't just a catchy phrase. It's a rigorous mental discipline. It's a method for interpreting reality that saves us from two great errors: flat materialism, which sees no meaning beyond the physical, and vague mystical delusion, which gets lost in fantasy. Analogy isn't about randomly matching things together. It's a way of seeing the connections, the correspondences that link all levels of creation. It is a method for ascending from the chaotic multiplicity of the world back to the underlying unity from which it all springs. It's about learning to see the macrocosm and the microcosm. This leads to his view of the astral body. When you hear astral body or astral projection, you probably think of dramatic out-of-body experiences, flying through space. Guaita dismisses these spectacular stories. He uses terms like linga sharira or nefesh, not to describe a vehicle for cosmic tourism, but to point to a principle of mediation. The astral body is not a second ghostly copy of your physical form. It is the realm of your creative imagination. It is the mirror of your soul, the subtle body that holds the images, emotions, and patterns that shape your reality. It's the bridge between your mind and your body, between your inner world and the outer world. Understanding this principle is key to understanding how our thoughts and imagination truly shape our lives. And that brings us to the power of imagination itself. Guaita calls it a sacred and dangerous organ, the gateway to the invisible. But he makes a critical distinction between passive, uncontrolled imagination and a disciplined, active imagination. Left to its own devices, our imagination just daydreams. It creates illusions, anxieties, and what occultists call larval forms, thought forms that can clutter our inner world. But when purified and controlled, the imagination becomes a theurgic organ. It's the faculty that allows us to grasp symbols, to think not just logically but intuitively, and to consciously shape the very substance of the astral light. It's the key to real magic, which is the art of causing change in conformity with will, a will that must first be purified. Guaita also provides a unique, hermetic reading of Genesis, specifically the figures of Herod, the raven, and Enna, the dove. He sees them not as literal birds, nor as good and evil forces in a dualistic struggle. Instead, they represent two opposing and complementary cosmic currents, dissolution and coagulation, death and life. Herod represents the necessary force of destruction, the breaking down of old forms to make way for the new. Enna represents the force of creation and form. For Guaita, death is not evil. Dissolution is a cosmic necessity. There can be no new life without the decay of the old. Understanding this balance is to understand the rhythm of the universe itself, moving beyond a simplistic, moralistic view of reality. All these ideas converge on the great work, the ultimate goal of the alchemist. But Guaita presents a hierarchy of quests. He speaks of the alchemist seeking the philosopher's stone, the mystic seeking union with God, and the theosophist seeking universal knowledge. He affirms that all these paths are true, but they are not equivalent in their starting point. The absolute prerequisite for any of them, the foundation upon which all else is built, is inner transmutation. The alchemical work must begin inside the alchemist. You cannot perfect matter if you have not first perfected your own soul. The purification of the heart and mind is the first and most important stage of any genuine spiritual journey. So, what is Guaita's final message? He concludes his text by saying of the Emerald Tablet, not just anyone can decipher it. This isn't meant to be elitist or to close the door on seekers. It's a simple statement of fact. He is reminding us that true knowledge is proportional to our being. You can't understand these concepts with intellect alone. You can't just read a book and get it. Understanding comes from a progressive shift in your entire perspective, a transformation of your whole self. It's a journey of becoming, not just knowing. In the end, Guaita's commentary on the Emerald Tablet and the Astral Light is not a manual of practical occultism. It's something far more valuable. It is a doctrine of discernment, teaching us to separate truth from illusion. It is an intellectual discipline, training our minds to think analogically and symbolically. And most importantly, it's an ethic for engaging with the invisible world. Guaita's ultimate lesson is not about how to gain power, but how not to lose yourself in the process. He provides the keys not to control the cosmos, but to navigate it with wisdom, integrity, and a purified heart. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive. If this exploration of esoteric thought resonates with you, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more content that challenges and expands the mind. See you next time.